"I'm just not focused on women" is one of many things said by men who are coping with the reality that they have approach anxiety. Approaching women is hard, and all men have at some point faced some level of anxiety when it comes to approaching women, whether they want to admit it or not. If you're a person that refuses to cope but still have approach anxiety, then you're at the right place, because I have discovered the best method when it comes to handling this issue. There's actually no better method than the one in this video, so as long as the sun is still up, this method can solve your approach anxiety issues today. But before I begin, I would like to ask you to like, subscribe, click that notification bell, and send this video to anyone that is still coping about their approach anxiety. So exactly what is approach anxiety? BetterHelp defines approach anxiety as an irrational fear that can stop you from engaging in conversations with strangers.
Check it out.
This anxiety is actually hardwired into our biology, so describing it as irrational puts a wrench in the conversation that should be had regarding our feelings' roles in protecting us. To explore this concept, I'll have to take you way back into our history. Back in the good old days, we lived in these tight-knit tribes. In these tribes, if a woman rejected a man, then it's not just her that's rejecting him. Since human societies were limited to small tribes, it's very likely that sooner or later, everyone that man knows and will hear about his rejection. That's a pretty big deal, because social proof, which is the concept where people conform to the behaviors and opinions of others, would mean that this man will now be known as the rejected one. Throughout heaven and earth, I alone am the rejected one. As a result, other women would be less likely to give him a chance, and just like that, his lineage is over. We actually see this phenomenon in today's society. Think back to middle school or high school. If a student gets rejected by a girl, then he's likely to become very low status very quickly, with almost no hope of recovering back to a neutral status, unless he's already proven that women like him prior to his rejection. Either way, it's school, and school ends eventually, so this status is only temporary, therefore it's not really a big deal. Here's the kicker though. During tribal times, your status in your tribe was likely lifelong, and approaching women from another tribe wasn't an option. Doing that could get you killed by the men of the other tribe, who wouldn't exactly welcome you trying to reproduce with their women. So this anxiety isn't just some irrational fear, it's ingrained in our biology as a survival mechanism that's been developed for over several millennia. This concept is supported by evolutionary biologist David Buss, who notes that early humans developed intricate social systems to mitigate such risk. You see, women typically rate men that they're familiar with higher than men that they're not familiar with, and during tribal times, men typically didn't have to approach a random girl that they didn't know. It was just an unnecessary risk in the entire process. With society being so small during that time, it's likely that a man would know most of the women in his tribe and be able to fill out which ones do and don't like him. This is why many men today end up dating women that they either work with or go to school with. Since people spend so many hours in school or at work, they as a byproduct can better deduce how these people feel about them and use such information to mitigate the chances of blatant rejection. So now that we know why we feel this anxiety, we can get into that method I mentioned earlier for dismantling it. This method directly counters social proof. It's a game, and it's a game you play with your bros. Before I explain the rules to this game, I would like to tell you the story that led to the creation of this game. This is a story about a samurai who died standing up after slaying 1,000 samurai with a rake. This man is Saito Musashibo Benkei. Benkei, during his life, was rejected by the martial arts community. It didn't matter to him though. Despite being turned down by many monasteries and temples, Benkei had an ambition to prove he was a great samurai. Eventually, he would stand guard at a place called Gojo Bridge, where he vowed to slay 1,000 samurai. Benkei might have been insane, but he left his mark nonetheless. If Benkei could vow to face down 1,000 men for no reason other than trying to cross a bridge, I could approach women for no reason other than the fact that I would be a coward not to. After hearing this story, I tried everything. At one point, I even bet $1,000 against my roommate that I could approach at least 3 women. None of my ideas were working, and one day, I was out with some friends trying to solve this issue, and I told my friends, I don't understand how we could be outside for 2 hours and only approach 2 girls. One of my friends got a phone call at that exact moment, and I took that time to think. Once my friend got off the phone, the idea hit me, and so I said, Jody, let's play a game. Here's how it works. Get together with 2 or more friends. When it's your turn, the group picks a girl for you to approach, and you have to go talk to her. No excuses unless she's clearly unavailable, like talking on the phone or walking with her family or boyfriend. Looking like she's in a rush is not an excuse. Hustle and don't let her cross the figurative Gojo Bridge without you at least saying hi. When I explained these rules to my friend, he asked me, any girl? You're gonna go no matter what. And I said, Yeah. So my friend and I walk for about half a block and he sees a girl and says, what about her? It was a really cute girl that was walking super fast. He turned around and she was already halfway up the block and he starts saying, never mind, she's already too. And in the middle of my friend saying that she's too far, I about face and ran up the block. Now, she clearly wasn't interested, so I'll take it as a rejection, but that's not the point. Before this game, it would take me 6 hours to get anywhere from 0 to 7 approaches. After this game, I started to go for at least one approach for every 10 minutes I wasn't already talking to a girl. Now, this is only because I was taking turns with 2 other people, one of which took 30 goddamn minutes to get his first approach, but it's more fun that way. The beauty of this game is that it uses social proof to your advantage. If you chicken out too many times, your buddy starts seeing you as cowardly. Imagine every time you try to act tough with your boys and they bring up how you took 2 hours to get no approaches. As men, we are naturally going to divide ourselves into hierarchies, and being a coward is one quick way to be at the bottom of your friend group's hierarchy. So you get to choose. Face how your close friends see you or how a stranger you'll likely never meet again sees you. Trust me, it's way easier to handle the latter. Many of the concepts that make this game work are supported by clinical psychologist Albert Bandura's self-efficacy report, as seeing your friend be able to approach and get rejected without serious repercussions can serve as a sort of social modeling for you. And once you begin to do it yourself, your mind will experience being okay after rejection, since there's literally no other choice. It's not like Zeus is going to smite you after being rejected, so you have no choice but to master the skill of handling rejection. Now let's talk about increasing your odds of success when approaching. For starters, confidence is key. Confidence is universally attractive. When you approach somebody, do it with your head up and a relaxed posture. Neuroscientist Andrew Huberman explains that body language can affect both your brain and how others perceive you. Confidence is impossible to fake. You either have confidence through delusion and ignorance to your own incompetence, or you have confidence through high competence. Preparation is one surefire way to create momentary competence. To do this, you will utilize your ability to visualize. Before you even approach a woman, take a moment to envision exactly what you want to say and how you want to say it. Psychologists have found that this kind of mental rehearsal can prime your brain and body to perform better in real-world situations. I must mention vocal tonality. The way you speak plays a huge role in how confident and attractive you come across. Aim for a deeper, more resonant voice with a slower pace and stronger volume. Research shows this can instantly make you sound more self-assured, but do not force a voice that isn't your own. Things all men can add to their voice to sound more attractive are power, rasp, and expression. Power is how clear and loud your voice can be without exerting yourself or sounding needy. Rasp is what most people think of when they think of a deep voice. You cannot make your voice deeper, but you can add subtle vibration to your tones when you speak. If you don't know how to do this, then look up guides on how to do a throat bass so you can make your brain aware of this vibration when you speak. But don't overforce this vibration. It should just be a subtle rasp. The final thing is expression. Don't be monotoned. If you're flirting, then your voice should be seductive and playful while maintaining a calm pace to make sure everyone is at ease.
You're flirting with me.
You flirted with me first.
True.
Let me escort you to the school. It's not safe out there. Alone. I mean, I've seen 10 vampires tonight.
When someone says something you don't like and you wish to respond, make sure the disapproval is expressed in your voice. All 3 of these things should be practiced in every conversation you have. Even pay attention to how you sound when ordering coffee. Now, when it comes to that initial approach, the goal is to grab the girl's attention in a unique and clever way. Simple compliments can work, but try to be more specific and observational. For example, you could say, "Yo, I like those glasses. Let me have them." This can give her something to think about and something to talk about, which is a great icebreaker. And don't underestimate the power of positive body language. Keep an open, relaxed posture, make eye contact, and don't be afraid to use hand gestures. Things like tapping your fingers downwards can convey a sense of conviction. Oh, and don't forget to smile. Studies show that genuine smiles are contagious and can help put both you and her at ease. It's also important to take time to understand micro body language. Most people understand things like eye contact and posture, but when I mention things like hand gestures, it's important to put a huge emphasis on them. Most people try to feign confidence through macromanagement of their body, and very few effectively and intentionally utilize things like hand gestures and momentary changes in their overall posture, making them come off as inauthentic and stiff. If you learn to master these things, not only will it be hard to tell if you're faking confidence, but you'll also actually become more confident, since you will gain confidence through understanding the meaning of the most minute movements of your body. Pacing, Pacing is also crucial. Be comfortable with moments of silence. It's inevitable when you first meet somebody. Use that time to observe a girl's reaction and calibrate your approach. Psychologists have found that pacing can give off subtle cues about your self-perceived status and importance, which can influence how she views you. The key with all these techniques is to make them feel natural. Don't force anything. Just focus on being your best, most confident self. And remember that this is a skill that takes practice. The more you put yourself out there, the more comfortable and successful you'll become. I know approach anxiety can be a real beast, but I promise you it's a hurdle you can overcome. With the right mindset and strategies, you can absolutely boost your date game success rate. So get out there and put these tips into action. And remember, practice does make perfect. So don't get upset if these tips don't work out for you the first time around. And until next time, peace.